Who are the top 10 grapplers in UFC? Well, today, guys, we're going to be working that out. I am risking my channel dislike to like ratio because let me tell you, this video is a lose-lose because no matter what happens, people aren't going to like it, okay? I could have someone else's perfect list and someone else's worst nightmare list. So bear with me while I give my top 10 grapplers in the UFC, and for the criteria we will be including basically submission skills, offensive wrestling, defensive wrestling, scrambles, basically everything under grappling, including submissions and stuff like that. And because we're making this fair, this is going to be pretty general, and then this is going to be pound for pound, okay? So don't say in the comments, oh, why isn't said grappling heavyweight higher than everyone else because he would beat them all in grappling. Yeah, I know, he's way bigger. Of course he's going to beat them. This is pound for pound though. And that also means that seeing as the lighter divisions tend to be more skilled, we're going to see more light people, spoiler alert, near the top of this list. But, that makes sense. They're more skilled. They're better at grappling per pound, okay? So, with that cleared, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. I'm MMA Tizzer. I do content like this every single week. And without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting off with number 10. It's Dricus Du Plessis, the middleweight. Now, I know what you're going to say, Dricus is terrible. No, he's not, okay? He's improving, and to be honest, he's actually always been good at grappling. Has he put himself in some bad positions sometimes? Yes. However, he's getting better, and every time we see him out, he is literally so much more improved when it comes to grappling. And honestly, at this point, he is the best middleweight grappler, okay? However, being the best middleweight grappler doesn't really say much. It doesn't get you too high up the list. There's not a whole lot of grappling talent in middleweight. Obviously, the champion basically doesn't grapple whatsoever. Israel Adesanya, he's not looking to grapple. And I really do think in a grappling-only match, Dricus would destroy Adesanya. So, and he has destroyed him in the past. And we saw what he did to Whitaker, and a lot of people say that Robert Whitaker has phenomenal wrestling, and he has great defensive wrestling apparently. Well, Dricus made his so-called amazing defensive wrestling look really, really bad when he literally head and arm through him onto the thing. Like, that's literally what your dad does to you when you're a kid to put you in your place, you know what I mean? He'll head and arm throw you. And he did that to Robert Whitaker, another professional MMA fighter. He showed him levels in the cage of grappling. Pretty crazy, very humiliating for Rob Whitaker. And he has really good strength, really good ground and pound. He also has a very, very good submission threat. This guy's got a lot of rear naked chokes on his career resume. And I'm not surprised when he gets the back, he will go for it. He can land the ground and pound strikes and make you turn over from top mount. And when this guy has an opportunity to get the back, he'll get it. And he's really strong too. So he's good at cinching up the choke. He's got good jiu-jitsu for a middleweight. And he earns a spot on this list because at the end of the day, he is the best middleweight grappler, like it or not. So Dricus Du Plessis, after the Robert Whitaker fight, he made a great case to be on this. He got taken down briefly. He got right back up against Robert Whitaker, and not a lot of people do that. Basically, Whitaker panicked there, and then he literally tossed him over his shoulder a few minutes later. So great performance. Showing improvements. He's only getting better. He's strong. He's young. And Dricus Du Plessis, number 10. I think that's fair. We move on. Number 9. Here comes the dislikes. A lot of people aren't going to like this one. It's Jon Jones. Now, listen. People are going to say Jon Jones is the GOAT, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we've heard that a million times. But at the end of the day, Jon Jones' wrestling isn't actually that good, okay? Because we have to look and be honest with ourselves, okay? A lot of the lightweights who he dominated in the wrestling were basically blown up middleweights, okay? They were middleweights who couldn't be bothered cutting weight, because back then, the UFC was different. People took weight cutting less serious. All the weight classes were a bit crazy. You had people who basically were fighting at their natural body weight, more or less. Jon Jones, he definitely always cut, okay? Jon Jones was a big light heavyweight, really tall, skinny dude. And, when he's wrestling people like Lyoto Machida, they don't stand a chance, okay? He's way bigger than Lyoto Machida. A lot of people, in fact, that he's grappled. And if you look at, the trend in his career, the guys who were big, he struggled with, okay? Dominic Reyes, he's one of the bigger guys, the more modern light heavyweights. Jon Jones didn't do very well at grappling him. Most of his takedowns were stuffed, and he got 2, maybe. And within 30 seconds, Dominic Reyes was back up, okay? So, has Jones done well against some of the lighter guys? Yeah, okay, he dominated them on the ground. He got finishes. Fair play. That's why he's on this list, okay? When there's a size difference, he'll take advantage of it. But however, against Dominic Reyes, he didn't look good, and a few other people, he didn't look as good. Thiago Santos kind of struggled to wrestle him as well. So my point is that when he's against the bigger guys, he struggles more, and it's obvious. However, in heavyweight, he's probably the best grappler. Okay, he destroyed Cyril Gane, so he makes the case for being the best grappler in heavyweight. I know people are going to say Tom Aspinall, and I also do think he's a phenomenal grappler. However, we just haven't seen enough of him at a high level yet, so I'm not going to be placing him in this top 10. So for now, as far as we know, the best grappler in heavyweight is John Jones. So that's why he's on this list. And you're going to say to me, well, why isn't he higher if he's the best grappler in heavyweight? Look at heavyweight, okay? There's about 3 or 4 good grapplers in the top 15. Not the most stacked division in skill for grappling. So yeah, that's why he's there, John Jones. And also, offensively, like I said, against the big guys, it struggles. Except Cyril Gane, but, that's Cyril Gane. We move on. Number 7, Henry Cejudo. Now, Henry's wrestling is actually quite good. He's really good. He just doesn't use it properly, or he can't use it properly, okay? So that's why he's there. Offensively, he has a bit of a problem where a lot of fighters do have this problem. They take someone down, they get right back up. He can't seem to really find the solution to that. People just pop right back up under this guy. And also, what doesn't help is he's a midget, okay? Henry Cejudo is tiny, and he fights at bantamweight. I have no idea why he does that. Does he not realise that if he went down to flyweight again, he'd have way much more dominance? Because every single bantamweight is bigger than Henry Cejudo, because no other bantamweights are midgets. So that's why Henry Cejudo is there. Struggles to get people down. His offensive wrestling's a bit, it's not amazing. Has he finished people on the ground? Yes. Ground and pound mainly. This guy isn't a submission guy, so he can't be any higher than this. And obviously, against Aljamain, his wrestling didn't really work because, Aljamain's bigger and he's actually good at grappling. So, yeah, Henry Cejudo is there. However, outside of the UFC, very, very, very good. Olympic gold medalist, stuff like that. So, he's there. I think that's a good place for him. He belongs there. Henry Cejudo, 7. We move on. Kamaru Usman. Now, Kamaru Usman isn't as good as he used to be. And I think this reflects currently whereabouts he is, okay? Because, he still took Leon Edwards down a few times. He had a few good moments on the ground. However, Usman is very dominant, okay? This guy can basically take down everyone in welterweight when and where he wants to. However, he doesn't really do a lot, okay? He'll land the odd hammer fist, the odd punch, but, you're not going to be worried about getting rear naked choked by Usman. He's not going to throw up a triangle from top mount and drop. He ain't going to try and Kimura or armbar you, okay? His ground and pound is good. He gasses you out. He just lies on top of you, wet blankets you, tires you out, maybe can look for a finish in the later rounds. It works, okay? However, he kind of met his match in Leon Edwards because Leon just kept on popping right back up. Leon has good hit on defense, and he was struggling. And I think we've seen the best of Usman, okay? He's only getting worse. And, he kind of got exposed by Edwards in the second fight where he took him down. And that was kind of when Usman's immortality or invincibility aura kind of shattered, because a lot of people realised that, what a lot of fans had already noticed, this guy isn't amazing. He isn't unbeatable, okay? He's very beatable. You just need a very well-rounded guy. Loads of people on YouTube have said that before, but it's true, okay? It's true. Not the best grappler by any means. No submission threat, virtually none. He's been submitted before. By a rear naked choke, like a standing. I think he got backpacked, and that's why Usman's there. We've seen his best. Very dominant against people who can't really wrestle, and obviously against the top tier wrestlers, he just kind of makes it a striking match. So maybe that says something about his wrestling. I have no idea, but we move on. Number 5. Here come annoyed fans. Merab. Okay, Merab, guys, he's good. Okay, his wrestling pressure is the best, okay? Him and Usman have top tier wrestling pressure. Usman's isn't as good as it was 2 or 3 years ago, but that's just because he's older and his cardio isn't as good. But, it's still up there, and that's why these guys are both good. Are they the best on the ground? Absolutely not. They have little submission threat. The ground and pound isn't even the best. However, it's the pressure that works, okay? It's the constant takedown threat. It's just the inconvenience of getting taken down. You means you're probably going to lose a round. You're going to have to expend a lot of energy to try and get back up. Otherwise, you're going to get punched and maybe your body shotted, and it's just going to be uncomfortable for you, okay? But that's why these two are here, because they're just really good at that. And Merab's better, okay? Merab's better, and he's also gone against, in my opinion, people who are better at wrestling. So Peter Yan, very underrated takedown defense. He's a good grappler. I know he's obviously mainly a striker, but he's very well-rounded. And yeah, I really do think Merab is phenomenal. However, he has the same problem as Usman. Finish someone when they're on the ground, okay? You know, get a finish, Merab, please. For the love of God, submit someone. I think we're going to see a lot of this with Merab. He's going to dominate people, but he's not going to submit them. I think he's just going to repeat. He's just going to shoot a takedown, gets it, they get back up, he shoots again, because his cardio is that good. So yeah, that's Merab. I think that's where he is on this list. It's a bit of a shame because it's kind of a boring style to watch because he doesn't actually do anything with his takedowns. I have no problem with takedowns. It's fun to watch wrestling. Just make it fun, okay? Usman's the same. Boring wrestling. Cejudo, you know, he doesn't really get finishes. Dricus, however, you know, he's going crazy. He's trying to get ground and pound finishes, trying to get the back. Even Jones, you know, he's got finishes on the ground. So that's what separates these guys. However, better competition as far as I'm aware for some of these guys. We move on. Number 4. It is Alexandre Pantoja. Now, I'm putting him here. He's the best flyweight grappler, okay? This guy destroys top 5 guys in the first round by submitting them, okay? And he, I'd say he got the better of Brandon Moreno on the ground. And Brandon Moreno's good on the ground, you know, very, very well-rounded fighter. This guy's submission skills are amazing, okay? Best flyweight submission skills. Amazing back taker, you know, one of the many human backpacks in the UFC. And yeah, he's just good at wrestling. His grappling's good. He's the best flyweight grappler, and a lot of flyweights are good at grappling. So for him to go out and finish, you know, top-ranked flyweights in the first, you know, not much more needs to be said. But Alexandre Pantoja is the best flyweight grappler, and flyweight's a good grappling division. You know, they're all very talented. The only problem is they don't get a lot of publicity or attention. So yeah. So he kind of gets underlooked by a lot of people, but he is undoubtedly the best. Very, very dangerous on the ground. He ain't like Merab, you know. You get taken down by Merab, you've got a minute left in the round, you're fine. You're going to relax, you're going to chill. You get taken down by Alexandre Pantoja, you're in a lot of trouble. Even with a minute left, this guy will be searching for a sub. Everyone knows it. Very, very dangerous. And yeah, that is why he is there. So yeah, Alexandre Pantoja, 4th. We move on. Number 3. Aljamain Sterling, okay? So Aljamain is going in number 3. Would Merab beat Alja in a fight? Yes, he would, okay? Merab, I'm a strong believer that Merab would actually beat Aljamain Sterling. So Aljamain Sterling's done a very good job there, making friends with the guy that could beat him. That's kind of funny. Very, very W play from Aljamain Sterling. This guy keeps winning somehow. But fair enough. However, the reason I'm putting him above him, because you're just going to say, well, why would you put him above him? Is because Aljamain's more dangerous on the ground, okay? They have the same sort of style in trying to do relenting grappling pressure. However, Aljamain kind of fails at the relenting pressure because most of his takedowns are stuffed. However, when Aljamain gets a takedown, it's panic mode again. It's similar to Pantoja. This guy's gonna go for your back. He's called the human backpack, and it's true. This guy, when he gets you basically in back, when he gets your back, and he gets the triangle, the body triangle, you're in a lot of trouble. You're not getting out. You know, I don't think I've ever seen anyone get out of an Aljamain Sterling body triangle, and most of them get submitted. The only person that hasn't got submitted, as far as I can remember, is Peter Yan. So yeah, so props to Peter Yan, you know, showing how good he is on the ground. And yeah, Aljamain Sterling, his takedowns are bad. It's why he's not any higher. And you know, number 2 and 1, I can't put them any higher. Because I don't think he's better than them, and you're going to see why in a second. But yeah, Aljamain Sterling, very dangerous when he gets you down. The worst part of his game is his actual takedowns themselves. They're kind of sloppy at times. However, you know, pretty good defensive, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. He's dangerous everywhere, even on his back. I know he's rarely on his back, but off his back, he's dangerous. He can do triangles, do arm bars, etc. So yeah, this guy's just dangerous everywhere. However, I just don't think his takedowns are good enough that he can be put any higher. Because against someone who can stuff takedowns effectively, I think he may crumble. You know, against some guy who's got like S tier takedown defense, I think it's over for him if they've got good cardio. We move on. Now, we're doing joint second, okay? So, number 2, it's 2 people, okay? It's Volk and Oliveira, and they're balanced in my opinion, okay? Because, you know, Volk, in my opinion, is the best defensive grappler in the UFC, okay? I don't think anyone's better than him defensively. You can't submit Volk. As far as I'm aware, this guy is immune to submissions. He escaped Brian Ortega's submission, a guillotine submission, which is crazy because Brian Ortega's submission skills are S tier, okay? He's got S tier submissions if we had to rank them, and he got out of that. No other champion would ever get out of that, let's be honest. We're just going to get that out of the way, okay? Submission defense, amazing. Grappling defense, phenomenal. And recently, the reason why he has to go so high is because recently we've seen a whole new kind of style of Volk wrestling, offensive wrestling, and it's working, okay? And I know he shot against Holloway and stuff, but, you know, in the Yair Rodriguez fight, he took it to a whole new level, and he showed that he's basically Islam Makhachev reborn. He took a lot from that fight. Volk became a wrestler, and it really worked. If it ain't working on the feet, Volk's going to shoot now. But the thing is with Volk, is his ground and pound's insane because of his cardio. He's always threatening a finish. And we saw that against Rodriguez, okay? You know, Emmett struggled with Rodriguez on the ground. In fact, he got finished by him when he had full guard. So it just shows you the difference in it. You know, he's submitting Emmett. Volk finishes him, you know, so it shows. And Yair is good off his back, and he would have been training a lot for that. He would have been expecting that. And Volk just showed levels. Amazing takedowns. I mean, you saw how slick the takedown combo was. That was absolutely unbelievable. And like I said, he can keep it up. He's got God cardio. And yeah, moving on to Oliveira. Defensively, I don't think he's as sound as Volk, okay? He's easier to take down. We've seen it in his past. And also, I think his submission defense actually isn't as good as Volk's, which is ironic because he's better at BJJ. However, I think Volk training with Craig Jones is better than what Oliveira can do. You know, I think his preparation is much better than what Oliveira can train with. Because, I mean, let's face it, you have one of the best submission people in the world training with you at all times. And he's bigger than you too, you know. Craig Jones is a big guy. So for Volk to train with him, he can really get that experience basically in an uneven fight and to still survive. So yeah, amazing by Volk to do that. But yeah, Oliveira defensively not as good. However, offensively even better, okay? This guy has decent ground and pound. Not as good as Volk's, I'd say. But obviously, we all know where the threat is with Oliveira, don't we? It's his submissions, okay? This guy has probably the best submissions game in the UFC right now. Dangerous off his back, but extremely dangerous when he's on top. He'll try and pass. He'll go for an arm bar. He'll go for a triangle. He'll go for anything he can get. He's always dangerous. You can never count him out. And that is why he's number 2. His wrestling's improving too. So that's why I'm putting him at number 2. He's got a lot better in the last 2 years. He's dominating people who would basically in years gone by dominated him, or at least made the fight a lot more competitive. But his ability to switch, move positions by threatening submissions, we saw it against Tony Ferguson. And I know Tony Ferguson isn't as good as he used to be, and he lets you pass now. But we still saw it. Obviously, sub Gaethje dominated Poirier on the ground, and Poirier ain't no slouch on the ground. I know he's a BJJ black belt, but Oliveira actually made it look easier than Khabib did in the second and third round. So, and he did it quicker than Khabib. So, say what you want, but that's a fact. And I just think these guys are so evenly matched, and it'd be a great fight to see one day, especially in the grappling exchanges. So, hopefully that happens, and I'm really looking forward to it. And, that leaves us with the best grappler in the UFC. You probably all know who it is, and you'd be correct. It's Ciryl Gane. So Ciryl Gane, no, I'm joking. It's not Ciryl Gane, okay? I'm joking, guys. He can go back there. It's Islam Makhachev. Islam is undoubtedly the best grappler, okay? And, did he look phenomenal against Volk? No, he didn't. But we've got to realise Volk is phenomenal. So to even get down Volk and take his back, you're really good, okay? So it shows, putting Volk in uncomfortable situations. And I'm going to be the first to admit it. Volk was never actually about to be submitted. He was just in a dangerous position. However, to do that to Volk in the first place, like I said, deserves a lot of merit, deserves a lot of congrats, and I'm giving it to Islam right now. He's the best wrestler in the UFC. He dominated Oliveira. He took him down multiple times. He controlled him on the ground. He was fine. He was never ever at risk of being submitted himself, whereas no one else can say that about Oliveira. And he ended up submitting Oliveira, the king of submission. So to do that, you need a lot of skill. And I know people were saying, "Oh, he dropped him." Well, there was a big time gap between that. Oliveira had recovered. He passed his guard. Oliveira shouldn't have let him, and he subbed him with an arm triangle. So say what you want, but he subbed him, and that's just the way it is. Wrestling wise, very strong. He's good in the clinch. His jiu-jitsu is insanely underrated. He has S-tier jiu-jitsu. It's not as good as Oliveira's, but it's still really good. He won't be throwing up triangles and stuff, I can't imagine. But, arm bars, kimuras, rear naked chokes. He's going for it all, stuff like that. Just strong, very, very deadly. And this guy, ground and pound, amazing. And it's for me, it's his ability to get into top mount, okay? He'll get top mount so easily. He'll get it from anyone in like a minute. That's why he's so dangerous. He can pass so well because of his Sambo background, whereas Oliveira might struggle a bit and he'll think, oh, I'll just try and get a sub from here. Islam's always trying to get top mount. He's always trying to get a dominant position, trying to get them to give up their back and get the rear naked or get any other submission because he showed a lot of variety in his game. So that's why he's here. And, he controlled Volk about 65% of the time on the ground. However, he did get taken down by Volk kind of at the end of the last round, kind of dropped. It was all a bit murky what happened there. We can't really tell. So that does make it look a little bit worse, but he's still undoubtedly the best wrestler pound for pound. And I think if he moved up, I think he'd dominate everyone except maybe Leon. I think Leon might be the guy to maybe defend the Makhachev takedowns and get back up. But only time will tell if that matchup happens. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is the top 10 grapplers in UFC. I know it's 11 really, but honestly 2 is just so indecisive. I can't decide how to put them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below who else I should put in this list if you think I should have done it differently. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Join my members. I have bonus members videos. You're going to want to watch them. They're always fun. And subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.